My name is John, and I'm different than most people here. I'm a thinker.
Hey, John. Come here, you gotta see this. John.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Yeah, the video's so funny, man.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy, right? Who knew about that stuff?
Where are you going?
Hey, how you doing? This is one of mine. This is what I do. I design cardboard cutouts. Hey, Gilbert. How you doing, man? I challenge myself to create the most comfortable work environment possible while maintaining the image of a strong worker bee. Listen, I'm not out to screw anyone over here. I just want what any man wants, to be comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I'm smiling. And if I'm smiling, other people are smiling. It's contagious. Catch you later, buddy. Hey! That's Campbell, my boss. Good morning, Campbell, and how are you today?
We got a major catastrophe on our hands today. Major. Where you been all morning? Do you check your email?
What possibly could have happened? Carousel on the first mimosa.
Why do I even bother giving you an email address? Go back into that little cuddle den of yours, read your email, and get back here!
Well, I'm right here. You could...
Ding! I'm done.
But I'm right here.
Shh! Go read it!
Good morning, Levy.
Hey, buddy.
What's up with this email from Captain Campbell?
Don't worry about it. I took care of it already.
All right. What'd it say?
It says, in a quote, John, major catastrophe. Come see me about it. Better yet, bring your mother. Bam.
What is with that guy?
I know, he panics over everything. Then he goes to you to solve all of his problems.
You was chicken soup for his managerial soul.
You could be Campbell's chicken soup.
I will never be chicken soup. I remain the crap soup of the day that nobody orders because the restaurant forgot to put it on the menu. I'm invisible in this company.
Oh, come on! Man, I wish I had your luck. That guy's got a new catastrophe every day. He's seriously ruining my whole routine with his crap.
Maybe you need a new routine.
Don't you dare. Fresh squeezed strawberry orange juice?
Well, aren't you guys just cute?
Aren't you just drunk?
I have a light buzz.
Are you guys going to the meeting?
What meeting?
Janice, the new operations manager, is holding a meeting in 5 minutes.
How can you not know about this?
I have to go brush my teeth.
Many of you know my face, but few of you know my name. It's Janice McClellan Jr., and I'm here today to talk to you about PUP. Productivity and efficiency in the workplace.
Poop.
Through years of strenuous hard work and arduous dedication, I've managed to work my way up to the top of this food chain.
Is anyone listening to this?
Campbell is, look at him.
This is exactly what I mean by an unnecessary variable, throwing my whole internal balance off kilter. I should be taking my morning dump right now.
Is everything a routine with you?
We both know I've had some serious logistical details to work out here. Those few moments of sanctuary on the pot make my entire day tolerable. Otherwise, it's just a colossal waste of time.
Like foreplay.
Exactly. By far, though, the best addition to my routine has been the handicapped bathroom.
You use the handicap bathroom?
Shh! And now, the big news. At the end of each week, I shall be rewarding one of you hardworking individuals with a little something extra. The Gold Star.
It's not like it's a parking space. You're not gonna get a ticket. Come on, live a little, you Boy Scout.
Hey, I made it to Eagle.
Yet you refuse to spread your wings. Have you ever been in there? It's like a palace.
John's got a point. I mean, why should 99% of the employees only use like 50% of the bathroom?
Yes, thank you. And don't go telling everyone about this, by the way. You'll ruin it for me. The more people that know about it, the more they're gonna use it. And I need this levy.
And we shall succeed together, because Janice McWallen Jr. does not fail.
Yeah! Yeah!
You can dispense with the ass-kissing, Campbell. Now, are there any other questions? Oh, good. Now let's get right back to work, people.
Es ocupado.
What's going on in there? Are you going to be a while?
Gonna be about as long as it takes, all right, buddy?
Wait, it's just that, well, this is my usual stall and...
Yeah, well, this is my usual stall too, buddy. And if one of my friends out there has been telling you about this little thing I got going on, you can go out there and tell him I'm gonna kick his ass next time I see him.
No, you listen to me. You better get out of there right now.
You better get out of here before it gets rough!
No respect. You're the very epitome of what's wrong with this entire company.
Oh, quit banging out there, will ya? People are trying to relax in here.
No!
No!
You better get out of here! Your days here are numbered, mister! When I get through with you, your days here are gonna be a living hell! Do you hear me? Your last days are gonna be a living hell!
So, how was it done?
It was fine. It's totally, yeah, nothing to report.
You all right, John?
Why would you think something happened?
But you're sweating profusely and your left eye keeps twitching.
No, everything went great, of course. What? Tell me what's happening.
Did you see that? Are they heading to the bathroom? What the hell kind of dump did you leave them in there? I mean, I've heard of giant dumps before, but this is ridiculous. Who's coming in next? SWAT with gas masks?
This is gonna sound really bad, but, Janice was in there, and he started going crazy, and he was pounding on the door, and then, I think he fell in the stall next to me.
And you just left him in there?
But it was more complicated than that, because he was, he had a weapon.
A weapon?
Yeah, a walker, but it was a dangerous walker with projectile tennis balls.
You just left him laying on the ground. You're handicapped. What's John? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I didn't know he was handicapped. He was screaming at me, and then there's like in a voice like this. Have you heard him talk? I think he's gonna kill me. I'm dead. I'm so dead.
Stop! Stop, goddammit! Stop! John, get over here! Where's John? John, I want you to know that I've recognized your reverence and respect with regards to pupe. And it's upon the shoulders of employees like you that the entire future of this company now rests. John, reach into my back pocket. Do it now, son. Do you have it? Let me know when you have it, John.
Oh my God.
John, with this golden star comes great responsibility. I'm counting upon you, John, to carry on in my absence, to uphold the highest traditions and standards with respects to pupe. Now take me away!
Am I scared? No. I have no reason to be. Just had an off day, that's all. My routine is still at an adolescent stage, and there's more work to be done here.
The first thing I did once I'd read the script of Handicapped John through a few times was make a character role as an adjectives chart. John, the protagonist, is a fittingly bold character with whom many can relate to on some level, making his character a good choice for the lead role. Levy, however, while also being a central character, is invisible to those around him, which makes an interesting character dynamic considering he is John's friend. Campbell is your standard ambition machine. Work first, but there is something of a comical side to him too when he jumps out at John in the opening scene. Kara, I feel, has the most depth to her. In her introduction, she's shown as a day drinker, which could paint her in an unflattering light, but the narrative counteracts this representation with her dialogue and actions. She's a joker, but a good worker, and a friend to John and Levy. Janus, on the other hand, is business-headed, determined, and somewhat a stereotyped version of the boss role. After I'd lined the script, I began editing everything together. In the intro, I used the script more for guidance, but ultimately switched the order of dialogue in the voiceover. I did this mostly to help it fit together more, as when I first lined everything up, the dialogue outran the actions on screen, for example where John speaks out about his cutout. With the scripted dialogue, he was still talking about him being a worker bee when he got to that point on screen. I added a bouncy vibe soundtrack to this opening to help set the tone of a film as a comedy. For the next scene, I cut together quite simply, long shots for establishing the setting or the addition of Kara into the scene, but I focused on whoever was talking. I did a few different versions of the dialogue-heavy scenes, but in each one I tried to keep John as a central or dominant character. The meeting scene, or scene 7, was probably the one I spent longest cutting. It's very dialogue-heavy, which wouldn't have been a problem if the actors were more accurate with recreating their actions, making cutting much easier. I had several cuts I wanted to make, but I couldn't because the actions didn't match up, which was quite frustrating and limited my options. I think there are still a few pieces that don't quite sync up right, for example here, John's head position, but these are minor things and I don't think they take much away from the scene as a whole. Colour grading the scene was more complicated than it really should have been. For some reason some of the shots looked as if they'd already had some work done to them, which made syncing the colours and tones a bit trickier. For example these shots. My colour correction and grading have degraded the quality of detail even further than it already was. In terms of colour correction, I reduced the contrast and saturation of the clips that needed it, like these, and then added contrast and saturation to the rest as they looked quite washed out. I originally had a teal-orange grade on this scene to make it a little more colourful, but I took it off in the end as the quality looked too bad. There were blobs of patchy colour on areas of the face. This is the scene where Levy's invisibility is really shown, so I tried to keep away from using the close-up shots of him to distance him more from the other characters in the setting itself. Although he is directly involved in much of the scene, in the group discussions and while Janus is talking, I kept him off the screen to add to the sense of invisibility. His character is quite interesting in the sense that he has a sense of confidence about him and he does put himself out there, but he just doesn't get noticed. And even sat between John and Kara, he gets ignored at the end. John's character has a minuscule development in this scene, in the sense that the audience learn more about him, his personal value of his routine, and also his ignorance. Campbell's enthusiastic ambition is also developed in the scene, following his ass-kissing for Janus. The recorded audio for scene 19 was bad in some places because of echoing, so to cover this I used audio clips from other cleaner shots to make the scene flow smoother. I added some sound effects in, such as whistling at the beginning, to cover some of the distracting silences. I did at one point have a soundtrack fade in at the beginning, but decided not to have it in the final cut as I felt it was unnecessary. In this scene, I wanted to keep the focus on John, as again, this is more his scene than Janus's. It is a turning point for John's character, with the sense of his realisation. This is where everything changes for him. I kept to close-ups of him more than I did to Janus to highlight this importance more. I didn't do much in the way of colour grading on this scene, just the odd tweak of contrast and saturation, as I felt it looked pretty decent on its own. Through editing this piece, I tried to accommodate its comical genre. This isn't a serious film, but it is shot in a fairly simple way. Cutting it together was easy. It was choosing the shots and pace that drove the narrative that was tricky. Aside from the very first scene, which was a one-shot, I chose to keep fairly rapid cutting so as not to let the eye settle somewhere for too long, which would have created a more calming feeling. I positioned John to be the most dominant on-screen through my shot choices, making him the centre for most scenes as this is his story. In terms of sound design, I added the sound effects where they would fit or be appropriate and inserted soundtracks to help the tone of the scene. For colour correction and grading, I kept things quite simple, taking to altering the contrast and saturation of clips instead of the actual colour palette, but I did add a teal-orange grade to the cubicle office scenes to shift the colour palette slightly so it didn't look too dank and dim.